So, good morning, all of you. Just try to recall that what the point we discussed in the previous session. In the previous session, let me revise quickly. We discussed that Ohm's law. Ohm's law gives the relation in between the three fundamental parameters: voltage, current, and resistance. And its equation is V is equal to IR, where R is the resistance which is constant. Okay, after that, as we know that there are certain conditions to apply that the Ohm's law. What are the certain conditions? First condition is resistance must be constant, and second condition must be I is in proportion with the voltage. But when someone raised that hand, okay, the two conditions must be followed by the circuit, then we can apply that the Ohm's law. One is the R is kept constant and V is in a proportion with the I. Is it right? Now, limitations of that Ohm's law. As we know that if these two conditions are not followed by the circuit, then we cannot apply that Ohm's law. So that we cannot apply that Ohm's law to that unilateral electrical elements like a diode, because it flows the current only in one direction. Then non-linear elements like a transistor, because it will not shows, or the resistance of this transistor will change according to the voltage and the current. And the third thing is that we cannot apply that the Ohm's law to the semiconductor material, just like a silicon and the germanium, because they do not obey that Ohm's law is there. Get it my point? So this is the limitation. After that, we discuss that what is the mechanism behind that electric current is there. And for that, we consider one piece of a conductor which is connected to that external battery. When the battery is connected to the two end of a piece, that electrons will try to move from negative end towards the positive end, so that we say that conventional direction of a current is always flow from positive terminal of the battery towards the negative terminal of a battery through external circuit. But after that, we have given that the focus, when that free electrons move from one end to another end, then there is a number of obstacles present during its travel. It will always collide on that another atom and the molecule, but still it completes its path and it goes to the positive terminal, positive end is there. So the opposition in the travel of the free electrons, whatever that opposition is offered by the material is the property of that material, and that opposition to the flow of free electron from one end to another end or one place to another place is termed as the resistance of that material. And then we say that resistance is the property of a substance due to which it opposes the flow of current through it. This is the statement definition of a resistor. Now symbol, it's just like a zigzag line, and the unit that resistance can be measured in terms of ohm, and this is the symbol of the ohms here. Is it right? I think we discussed up to this point in the previous session, and now let's try to discuss the further point. Okay, so as we know that when we apply that the Ohm's law, that time we say that the R must be kept constant, or provided that the physical condition of the conductor must be constant. It means that its length, its area of cross section, its temperature must be constant. It means that R is kept constant. Now, in the next point, we have to discuss that, as we know that this resistance is the property of a substance. And I think I have explained in the last time, if you consider the two similar pieces of a silver conductor, then definitely both the pieces will offer the same resistance. But if we take one piece of a silver and another piece of a gold, then definitely the resistance offered by these two materials are different. because material is different and the resistance is the property of a material. Similarly, the resistance of a materials depends upon the some parameters, or we call it a 4 parameters. And now in this next point, we are going to discuss what are the factors on which the resistance of a conductor material it depends. Okay. So as I say that the resistance of a material is different material to material, just I explained. If I take one piece of a silver and one piece of a gold, so definitely the resistance is different. The substances like metals, for example, copper, silver, aluminum, etc., offer less opposition because these are the conductors, and we know that the conductor can easily flow the current through it. If it can easily flow the current through it, it means that its resistance is a very less amount is there, or its resistance is very less to the flow of free electrons is there. So that's why we call it a metal. But if you consider the semiconductor material or insulator material, if you take it that insulator material, just like a rubber, plastic, we know that the no current will flow through it. If the current is not flowing through it, it means that its resistance is what? It's a very high. If the resistance is very high, means opposition is very high. So these oppositions will not allow to move the free electrons from one place to another place. Then how the current it can flow through that the insulator? This is the basic concept behind that the resistance part is there. That's why we say that from that insulator, no current it will flow through it. Get it my point? And the substances like a semiconductor. Before that, if you take that example of a conductor, current can easily flow through it. It means that its resistance is very less. If you take that as a second example, insulator, no current will flow through it. It means that the resistance is very high. And if you take that example of a semiconductor, we say that the current can flow, but it is become the medium current can flow through that the semiconductor material because some kind of resistance is always present, or the resistance offered by the semiconductor is always less than insulator and greater than the conductor is there. That's why we say that the semiconductor resistance is always lies in between insulator and the conductor is there. Get it my point? So the resistance offered by the different material is in order. Baga, आता the order काय आहे? So the metal means we say that the conductor always offer the less resistance as compared to the semiconductor. The semiconductor always offer the less resistance as compared to the insulator, and the insulator always offer the very high resistance so that no current will flow through it. So actually this is the order in between the conductor, semiconductor, and that insulator is there. Now I think you might be aware about it. The resistance is a different material to material. If the material is changed, then definitely the resistance is also changed, because in the definition itself we say that the resistance is the property of a substance which will oppose the flow of current through it. Okay, so let's we have the definition for 1 ohm resistance. When we say that the 1 ohm resistance, suppose if you consider that it's a resistance of R ohm, is it right? And now we have to define, when we say that this resistance having its value of 1 ohm, and this definition we can create by applying that Ohm's law. So what is that equation of Ohm's law? Can anybody repeat me?
V is equal to IR.
V is equal to IR. Absolutely correct. Remember these things. Now assume that V is equal to 1 volt and I is equal to 1 volt. What is the value of R?
1 ohm.
Get it my point? According to that Ohm's law, we can create the definition for 1 ohm resistance. How I can create? For that, we use or we take the help of Ohm's law. When we assume that V is equal to 1 volt, I is equal to 1 ampere. So definitely R is equal to 1 ohm. It means that when 1 volt potential difference, when we connect the 1 volt of potential difference between the end of this resistor, will cause the 1 ampere current will flow through this resistance, then we say that the resistance of that resistor is 1 ohm. Are you clear my point? See that according to that Ohm's law, how I create the definition of 1 ohm resistance. आता इथं अज्युम करा की जर या रेजिस्टरच्या 2 टर्मिनलच्या अक्रॉस मी 1 व्होल्ट बॅटरी कनेक्ट केली आहे, डीसी बॅटरी, आणि त्याच्यामुळं 1 एम्पियर करंट फ्लो झाला, म्हणजे V इज इक्वल टू 1 व्होल्ट आहे, I इज इक्वल टू 1 एम्पियर झाला, तर या रेजिस्टन्सची व्हॅल्यू काय असली पाहिजे अकॉर्डिंग टू ओम्स लॉ? 1 ओम असला पाहिजे. मग त्याच्यावरून जर आपल्याला डेफिनेशन तयार करायची असेल, then we can try to create the definition like that. A wire is said to have a resistance of 1 ohm. कधी म्हणू शकतो की वायरचा रेजिस्टन्स हा 1 ओम आहे? A wire is said to have a resistance of 1 ohm if, आता हे कधी म्हणू शकतो बघा आपण, if a potential difference of 1 volt across its terminal, जर त्या वायरच्या अक्रॉस म्हणजे 2 टर्मिनलच्या बिटवीन मध्ये जर 1 व्होल्ट पोटेन्शियल डिफरन्स जर अप्लाइड केला, causes 1 ampere current flowing through it, that time we say that a wire having a resistance of 1 ohm. Simple definition is that. But you just have to take the help of Ohm's law. Once you know that Ohm's law, you can easily create the definition of 1 ohm resistance is there. Get it my point? A wire is said to have a resistance of 1 ohm. म्हणजे एका पर्टिक्युलर वायरचा रेजिस्टन्स हा 1 ओहम आपण म्हणतो कधी? इफ अ पोटेन्शियल डिफरन्स ऑफ 1 व्होल्ट अक्रॉस इट्स एंड्स causes 1 ampere current flowing through it. It's a simple definition of a 1 ohm resistance is that.
सर
Yes please. Yes please.
आपण असं पण म्हणू शकतो ना, अ वायर इज सेड टू हॅव अ रेजिस्टन्स 1 ओहम इफ पोटेन्शियल डिफरन्स अँड करंट इज सेम.
Is
सेम म्हणजे सेम असल्यावर 1च येणार ना, 1 ओहमच येणार.
absolutely correct. No problem. इथं आपण एक एक्झाम्पल म्हणून आपण त्याची डेफिनेशन तयार करण्यासाठी घेतली आहे. लक्षात येते का? ज्यावेळेस तुमचा पोटेन्शियल डिफरन्सची व्हॅल्यू आणि करंटची व्हॅल्यू सेम असेल तर डेफिनेटली रेजिस्टन्स हा 1 ओहमच असणार आहे अकॉर्डिंग टू ओम्स लॉ, नो डाऊट अबाउट इट. मग त्याच्याऐवजी मग तुम्हाला असंच करायचं असेल तर यू कॅन से दॅट द वायर इज सेड टू हॅव अ रेजिस्टन्स ऑफ 1 ओहम इफ द पोटेन्शियल डिफरन्स ऑफ युनिट व्होल्ट across its terminal causes unit ampere current flowing through it. अशी पण डेफिनेशन तयार करू शकता. म्हणजे आपण डेफिनेशन कशी तयार केली, कन्सेप्ट एकदा लक्षात आला, इट्स टोटली डिपेंड्स अपॉन अस टू क्रिएट द डेफिनेशन ऑफ 1 ohm resistance, no doubt about it. Okay. Really I appreciate that the thoughts what that you have put it. Okay. Now the next part is nothing but the factors on which the resistance of a conductor material is depends. Just now I say that there are total 4 factors are there on which the resistance of a conductor material is depends. Now today we are going to discuss about this factor is there. So what is the first factor? It's the length of a conductor material. Now all of you please have a focus on this word conductor, because we are using this word conductor here. We are not discussing about insulator, we are not discussing about the semiconductor, we are discussing about only conductor part is there. And now our title, you once again you please try to read it, factors on which the resistance of conductor materials are depends. म्हणजे एखाद्या पर्टिक्युलर कंडक्टरचा रेजिस्टन्स हा कोणकोणत्या फॅक्टर्स वरती डिपेंड असतोय. सो देर आर टोटल 4 फॅक्टर्स आर देयर. आउट ऑफ दैट the first factor is length of a conductor. Second factor is area of cross section of that conductor. Third factor is type and nature of that conductor, and the fourth factor is the temperature. Once again, all of you please try to say along with me. There are total 4 factors on which the resistance of conductor materials depends. Number one, length. Number two, area of cross section. Number three, type and nature. And number four, the temperature. Now we have to discuss one by one. Let's have the discussion. We try to discuss about how the resistance of a conductor depends upon length. It's the length of a conductor material. If just assume that if I consider one piece of a silver material, if I consider the piece of a silver material having a length L1 meter, and if I consider another piece of a silver material having a different length, we call it a L2 meter. If there are two pieces of a silver, one is having a length of a L1 meter and another is having a length of a L2 meter. Now here the length of both the pieces are different. If length of both the pieces are different, it means that though the material of both the pieces is the same, म्हणजे जरी हे दोन्ही पीसेस सिल्वरचे असतील तरी त्यांची लेंथ डिफरंट आहे. त्यांचं टेम्परेचर जरी सेम असेल, if the length is different, then also the resistance of both the pieces are different. And what is the relation? The relation is that the resistance of a conductor material is directly proportional to length. याचा अर्थ काय होतो? As the length of a material increases, resistance is also increases. As the length of a material, suppose my initial length is this one, and now we have increased that length. If the length is increased, it means that its resistance is also increases with the same proportion. That's why the relation in between the resistance and the length, which is nothing but directly proportional, is there. आता तुमच्या मनामध्ये असा प्रश्न येऊ शकतो, असं कशामुळं? मटेरियल तर सेम आहे, बरोबर आहे, त्याच्यानंतर टेम्परेचर सेम आहे, बरोबर आहे, फक्त लेंथ डिफरंट आहे म्हणून रेजिस्टन्स डिफरंट असा कसा काय येऊ शकतो? किंवा लेंथ वाढवली तर रेजिस्टन्स पण का वाढतोय? व्हॉट इज द बेसिक रिझन? व्हॉट इज द मेकॅनिझम बिहाइंड इट? अप्लाय दॅट बेसिक नॉलेज. Now try to recall that what is meant by the resistance first. Resistance is nothing but the opposition. कशाला opposition आहे? Flow of free electrons. Roll number 26, Vishal Kadam. You please unmute yourself. Otherwise I will remove you. And once I remove you, after that you cannot join the session. 26, Vishal Kadam. I will remove to the 26 number, Vishal Kadam. If the length of the conductor material is increases, as I say that the resistance is also increases with the same proportion. Now how it becomes? Okay, so for that, just consider one copper wire. आता ही कॉपर वायर बघा तुमच्या स्क्रीनवरती दिसेल, having a length of L1 meter. आता याची लेंथ आपण कन्सिडर केलेली आहे, फिक्स्ड लेंथ आहे, L1 मीटर आहे, एरिया ऑफ क्रॉस सेक्शन A आहे, बरोबर आहे. अजून एकदा आपण कॉपर वायरच घेऊया, परंतु त्याची लेंथ काय असेल? L2 मीटर असेल. Can you observe that, or from this diagram, can I say that L2 is greater than L1? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Its length is increased. Is it right? And
Yes, sir.
according to the theory, what the theory says that as the length increases, the resistance is also increases. That's why I have written here R is directly proportional to the length. Are you clear my point? Now how it becomes? as I say that resistance is nothing but the opposition to the flow of free electrons. आता एक फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन्स कन्सिडर करा पहिल्या L1 वायर मध्ये. आता हे जे काही एंड आहे हे निगेटिव्ह एंड अज्युम करा आणि हा एंड आहे तो पॉझिटिव्ह एंड अज्युम करा. मग आपल्याला माहित आहे की फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन्स हा कायम निगेटिव्ह एंड कडून पॉझिटिव्ह एंड कडे मूव्ह होतो. मग आता या फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन्सला L1 लेंथ क्रॉस करण्यासाठी काहीतरी अपोजिशन त्याच्यामध्ये कॉपर वायर एक्झिस्ट करणार आहे. बरोबर आहे. तो झाला त्या L1 मीटर कॉपर वायरचा रेजिस्टन्स. परंतु तेच मटेरियल आहे, परंतु लेंथ जर आपण इन्क्रीज केली तर मला सांगा त्याच इलेक्ट्रॉनला निगेटिव्ह एंड कडून पॉझिटिव्ह कडे एंड पर्यंत पोहोचण्यासाठी अपोजिशन वाढेल का कमी होईल?
इन्क्रीज.
अपोजिशन वाढेल हे तर सगळ्यांना क्लिअर आहे. कारण तर त्याला भरपूर लेंथ कव्हर करायची आहे ना. ही तर लेंथ L1 मीटर ही स्मॉलर होती. आता L2 मीटर ही ग्रेटर दॅन L1 आहे. मग त्याला त्या पॉझिटिव्ह एंड पर्यंत जाण्यासाठी त्याचा अपोजिशन सुद्धा काय होणार आहे? इन्क्रीज होणार आहे. मग त्या इलेक्ट्रॉनला होणारा अपोजिशन L2 वायर मध्ये जर इन्क्रीज होत असेल तर त्याचा रेजिस्टन्स काय झाला पाहिजे? इन्क्रीजच झाला पाहिजे. दॅट्स वाय वी से दॅट as the length increases the resistance is also increases with the same proportion, so that the relationship between the resistance of a material and the length which is directly proportional is that. Are you clear this point? But what I say here, my statement is as the length of a conductor material increases, the resistance is also increases with the same proportion. बघा हे माझं स्टेटमेंट आहे. पण जर मी ते स्टेटमेंट जर असं म्हणलं की as the resistance increases the length of conductor material is also increases, is it valid? Is it valid?
No, sir.
No.
बघा दोन स्टेटमेंट. अजून एकदा मी तुमच्या समोर दोन स्टेटमेंट ठेवतो. As the length increases, resistance is also increases. And the second statement is that as resistance increases, the length of a conductor material is also increases. Which statement is correct?
First.
Absolutely correct. कारण काही जणांना असं वाटेल की डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल आहे म्हणजे काही पण स्टेटमेंट म्हणलं तर चालेल. नो. Resistance is not only depends upon the length of a material. As I already discussed in the previous slide, the resistance is depends upon the 4 factors. So it is not only depends upon length. So we cannot say that resistance increases, the length is also increases. No, it's not a valid statement. So the valid statement is as the length of a conductor increases, the resistance is also increases with the same proportion is that. This is the valid statement is that. Get it my point? This means that longer the length of a conductor material, greater the resistance. So this, what is the relation? You need to just understand the relation in between the resistance of a material and the length of a conductor, which is directly proportional. Simple thing is that. This is about the first factor. Any doubt about it?
No, sir.
Okay. Go to that the next point. Area of cross section. Now आता second factor आपण बघतोय, that is nothing but that area of cross section. In the first factor, let me repeat once again. If you consider these two copper wire, here we have considered the same area of cross section of both the copper wire, but we have changed the length. Now the second factor is that we need to understand what is the relation between the area of cross section and the resistance of that conductor here. So the relation is inversely proportional is that. It means that as the area of cross section increases, the resistance is decreases. Resistance is decreases. How it becomes? Just see that here. Inversely proportional relation here. Now, if we consider that copper wire 1 having an area of cross section is of A1 meter square. Meter square is the unit for area of cross section. I think you are familiar with it. Now another one copper wire, let me consider here. Now you just assume that here, and its area of cross section is A2 meter square. Now if you see both the copper wire, here I consider that length is same. आता इथं मी लेंथ सेम ठेवली, परंतु त्यांचा एरिया ऑफ क्रॉस सेक्शन वेगळा केलाय. बरोबर आहे. सो कॅन आय से दॅट हियर एरिया ऑफ क्रॉस सेक्शन ऑफ wire 2 is greater than area of cross section of wire 1? Yes, or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now what happens when the area of cross section will be increases? Now just consider that the free electrons in wire 1, get it my point, at this end we assume that it's a negative end and which will move towards that positive end. But here you can say that while traveling from negative end to the positive end, it will always collide on another atom and that molecule during its length. So definitely opposition is there. But now if you consider that area of cross section is increases, area of cross section is increases. आता तुम्ही असं म्हणताल की एरिया ऑफ क्रॉस सेक्शन इन्क्रीज झाला तर ऍटम मॉलिक्यूल पण इन्क्रीज होणार आहेत. But if you see that the crystalline structure, the space in between that atoms, different molecules is also increases. And here, as that area of cross section is small, so it means that there is not enough space to move to this free electron from this negative end to the positive end. It means that in the wire 1, these free electrons will have a high opposition. It means that the resistance is high. But if you see that the second wire, though that area of cross section is increases, but the space in between that atoms and molecules will be increases, so that these free electrons having that enough space to move from this negative end to that positive end. So as compared to that wire 1, the wire 2 free electrons will face the less opposition. And if the wire 2 electrons will face the less opposition, means what about that the resistance?
Decrease.
Definitely the resistance is decreases. Get it my point? इथं या दोन्ही केस मध्ये रेजिस्टन्स असणार आहे, परंतु वायर 1 मध्ये या फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन्सला अपोजिशन हे खूप असणार आहे, पण वायर 2 मध्ये अपोजिशन त्याच्या मानानं हे कमी असणार आहे, कारण त्याच्यामध्ये स्पेस भरपूर आहे. And if that space is there, so definitely we can say that opposition is less, and that's why we can conclude from this both the diagram here, if the area of cross section will be increases, the resistance is decreases. So that the relation is what? R is inversely proportional to that area of cross section. The statement is like that: as the area of cross section increases, the resistance is decreases, or as area of cross section decreases, the resistance will be increases. This is the relation in between the area of cross section of a conductor wire and the resistance of that wire is there. But the statement is wrong. What the statement is wrong? As resistance increases, area of cross section is decreases. This statement is wrong. Are you clear my point? Anyone having that any doubt, please raise that doubt. This means that greater the cross-sectional area, lower the resistance of a conductor. It's an inversely proportional relation is there. Okay. If you see that point number 1, the length, the relation is R is directly proportional to the length. As length increases, resistance is also increases. But for area of cross-section, we say that as area of cross-section increases, resistance is decreased. We call it a inversely proportional here. Is it right? And now the third factors, which is nothing but type and the nature of the conductor material. आता या थर्ड फॅक्टरचा ऑलरेडी आपण अभ्यास केलेला आहे. तो कशा प्रकारे केलेला आहे? वी ऑलरेडी से दॅट द रेजिस्टन्स इज द प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ अ मटेरियल. म्हणजे जर मटेरियल चेंज झालं तर रेजिस्टन्स चेंज होतोय. म्हणजे जर आपण सिल्वरचा पीस घेतला त्याचा रेजिस्टन्स वेगळा आहे, कॉपरचा पीस घेतला त्याचा रेजिस्टन्स वेगळा आहे, गोल्डचा पीस घेतला त्याचा रेजिस्टन्स वेगळा आहे. इट मीन्स दॅट द रेजिस्टन्स ऑफ अ कंडक्टर डिपेंड्स अपॉन द नेचर ऑफ मटेरियल. म्हणजे ते पीस कशाचा आहे, कोणत्या मटेरियलचा आहे त्याच्यावरती त्याचा स्वतःचा रेजिस्टन्स डिपेंड्स आहे. सम मटेरियल शोज द लो रेजिस्टन्स whereas the some materials have the high resistance. म्हणजे तुम्ही थोडासा अभ्यास केला तर सिल्वरचा रेजिस्टन्स हा लो आहे आणि आयर्नचा रेजिस्टन्स हा हाय आहे. आता हे कशावरून आहे? इट्स द प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ दॅट मटेरियल. आर यू क्लिअर माय पॉइंट? सो दिस इज द थर्ड टाइप. इफ द मटेरियल इज डिफरंट, it means that its resistance is also different. That's why the third type is type and nature of that conductor material is there. Are you clear my point? If
Yes,
you
sir.
have that any doubt, please raise that doubt. Okay. Now, the fourth factor. What is that fourth factor? It's a temperature. Is it right? Now we say that as temperature increases, आतापर्यंत आपण टेम्परेचर हे कॉन्स्टंट ठेवत होतो, बरोबर आहे. मग पहिल्या केसमध्ये आपण लेंथ इन्क्रीज करून बघितली, दुसऱ्या केसमध्ये आपण एरिया ऑफ क्रॉस सेक्शन इन्क्रीज करून बघितला, तिसऱ्या केसमध्ये आपण त्याचा टाइप बघितला, नेचर बघितला, आता चौथ्या केसमध्ये आपण टेम्परेचर बघतोय. म्हणजे रेजिस्टन्स हा फक्त एका फॅक्टरवरती डिपेंड नाहीये. लेट मी क्लिअर दिस थिंग्स. रेजिस्टन्स हा या 4 फॅक्टरवरती डिपेंड आहे. म्हणजे रेजिस्टन्स, एखाद्या कंडक्टर मटेरियलचा रेजिस्टन्स डिसाइड करताना आपल्याला या 4ही फॅक्टरचा विचार करावा लागणार आहे. फक्त एका फॅक्टरवरून आपण रेजिस्टन्स ठरवू शकत नाही. Let me clear this. Now the temperature. Now see that I think this concept you might be learned in that engineering physics. Okay. As the temperature increases, आता टेम्परेचर इन्क्रीज झालं जर तर तुम्ही ते क्रिस्टलाइन स्ट्रक्चर जर बघितलं तर त्या क्रिस्टलाइन स्ट्रक्चर मध्ये तुम्हाला असं लक्षात येईल की as the temperature of the conductor material increases, so the electrons will break the covalent bond and it will try to jump from valence band to the conduction band. Means the large number of free electrons will be generated when the temperature is increases. Means the one thing it is clear, as the temperature increases, the electrons break the covalent bond and try to jump from valence band to the conduction band. And when it comes into that conduction band, they are called as a free electrons. म्हणजे टेम्परेचर वाढल्यानंतर फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन्स काय होतंय? वाढतायत, बरोबर आहे. As temperature increases, the free electrons is also increases. So what about that the resistance?
Increases.
Increase.
Absolutely correct. आता तुम्हाला माहित आहे म्हणून तुम्ही म्हणता इन्क्रीज. आता माझा प्रश्न आहे का बघा, आता जर इलेक्ट्रिक करंटची डेफिनेशन आपण कशी करतो? इट्स अ रेट ऑफ फ्लो ऑफ फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन्स, बरोबर आहे. मग जर फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन्स मूव्ह झाले की तर त्यातून करंट फ्लो होतोय असं आपण म्हणतोय. मग जर जास्त नंबर ऑफ फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन्स अवेलेबल असतील तर त्यातून फ्लो होणारा करंट कसा असणार आहे?
जास्त.
बरोबर आहे. म्हणजे फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉनची संख्या जर जास्त असेल तर त्यातून करंट हा इझिली फ्लो होतो. मग आता या केसमध्ये टेम्परेचर इन्क्रीज केल्यानंतर कोव्हॅलंट बॉन्ड ब्रेक होऊन लार्ज नंबर ऑफ फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन जनरेट होत आहे म्हणताय. म्हणजे लार्ज नंबर ऑफ फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन जर जनरेट होत असतील तर त्यातून फ्लो होणारा करंट सुद्धा तुमच्या पहिल्या कन्सेप्ट नुसार इन्क्रीज व्हायला पाहिजे. जर करंट इन्क्रीज व्हायला पाहिजे तर रेजिस्टन्स काय व्हायला पाहिजे? डिक्रीज व्हायला पाहिजे. परंतु रेजिस्टन्स डिक्रीज होत नाही, तर रेजिस्टन्स हा इन्क्रीजच होतो. मग आता हे कशामुळे आहे? म्हणजे फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन्स तर इकडे वाढतायत, मग फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन्स वाढून सुद्धा रेजिस्टन्स हा डिक्रीज का होतो, सॉरी इन्क्रीज का होतो? आर यू गेट इट माय पॉइंट? बिकॉज व्हाट यू से दैट द रिलेशन इज दैट as temperature increases, the resistance of conductor material is also increases. So there is a one concept in the engineering physics, we call it a thermal vibration. Thermal vibration म्हणजे जरी टेम्परेचर वाढवल्यामुळे फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन्स वाढले असतील, ड्यू टू दॅट थर्मल व्हायब्रेशन्स number of atoms or that atoms and molecules are start to vibrate. त्या मटेरियल मध्ये काय होतात, ते असे व्हायब्रेट व्हायला चालू होतात. दॅट्स वी कॉल्ड इट्स अ थर्मल व्हायब्रेशन. मग आता मला सांगा, इथून हा फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन्स हा निगेटिव्ह कडून पॉझिटिव्ह कडे चाललाय आणि इथं हे ऍटम्स आणि मॉलिक्युल्स हे सारखे व्हायब्रेट होत आहेत, तर त्याचं अपोजिशन वाढेल का कमी होईल? अपोजिशन वाढणार आहे. मग अपोजिशन वाढला म्हणजे रेजिस्टन्स काय झाला?
Increase.
Do you clear my point? This is called as a thermal vibration concept. It means that what is the effect of, now see that, let me clear. Effect of temperature on conductor is different, effect of temperature on semiconductor and insulator is different, but we are discussing about effect of temperature on conductor only. In terms of conductor, due to increase in temperature, resistance is also increases. It means that again it's a directly proportional relation is that. Are you clear my point? So these are the four factors. आता पहिल्यापासून आपण एकदा रिव्हिजन करूया. तर पहिला फॅक्टर होता लेंथ. काय रिलेशन आहे रेजिस्टन्स आणि लेंथचं?
Directly proportional.
डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल. दुसरा फॅक्टर आहे एरिया ऑफ क्रॉस सेक्शन. काय रिलेशन आहे? इनवर्सली प्रोपोर्शनल. तिसरा फॅक्टर आहे टाइप आणि नेचर, म्हणजे रेजिस्टन्स इज डिपेंड्स अपॉन मटेरियल टू मटेरियल. आणि चौथा फॅक्टर आहे टेम्परेचर. काय रिलेशन आहे?
डायरेक्ट प्रोपोर्शनल.
Get it my point? So these are the four factors on which the resistance of the conductor material is increases. Now you can read that points. Temperature affects the resistance of a conductor material. In most of the conductor material, resistance increases with the temperature. As temperature of the conductor increases, the free electrons increases, but due to thermal vibration, opposition to the free electrons is also increases, and opposition increases. This means that resistance increases with the temperature. This is the basic concept is there. Are you clear my point? And now by using these four factors, we are trying to create the one mathematical equation for the resistance of a conductor material. Now how to create it? Just have a look on it. Just by consider all four factors, what we can say, the first is resistance is directly proportional to the length. Second is resistance is inversely proportional to the area of cross section. So can I say that by combination of these things, I say that R is directly proportional to the length and inversely proportional to the area of cross section. And if we want to replace this proportional sign, we can replace this proportional sign with a proportional constant, and that proportional constant is nothing but rho, RHO, rho. R is equal to rho L by A, where rho is the proportional constant and is known as resistivity or specific resistance of that material. Once again, जसं रेजिस्टन्स ही मटेरियलची प्रॉपर्टी आहे, तसंच ही प्रोपोर्शनल कॉन्स्टंट स्पेसिफिक रेजिस्टन्स और रेजिस्टिविटी इज ऑल्सो द प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ दॅट मटेरियल. म्हणजे सिल्वरचा रो आणि आयर्नचा रो वेगवेगळा आहे, इट्स डिफरंट. परंतु जर सिल्वर दोन पीस आपण सिल्वरचे घेतले तरी त्या दोन्ही पीसचा जो काय स्पेसिफिक रेजिस्टन्स असेल, रोची व्हॅल्यू असेल, ती कॉन्स्टंट असेल. परंतु एक पीस सिल्वरचा घेतलाय, एक पीस गोल्डचा घेतलाय, तर त्या दोन्ही रोची व्हॅल्यू ही वेगवेगळी आहे, बिकॉज इट इज डिपेंड्स अपॉन मटेरियल. दॅट्स वाय वी से दॅट rho is the proportional constant, we call it a resistivity or specific resistance of that particular material. Are you clear
Sir.
this formula? Now, after that, anybody having any doubt?
सर ह्यामध्ये टी का नाही घेतला टेम्परेचर डायरेक्टली प्रपोर्शनल
For every conductor, the here that effect of temperature on the material is same. Get it my point? आता याच्यामध्ये जर आपल्याला टी जर घ्यायचा असेल, बरोबर आहे, प्रत्येक पीसचा जर टी घ्यायचा असेल तर त्याचे इक्वेशन्स वेगळे आहेत. आता ते टी घेऊन सुद्धा तुम्ही जर इक्वेशन कॅल्क्युलेट करायचं झालं तर तुम्हाला ते कॅल्क्युलेट करता येईल. आता या फॉर्म्युलामध्ये ज्यावेळेस आपण हा फॉर्म्युला घेतलाय R is equal to rho L by A, here we assume that the temperature of the material is constant. म्हणजे एक पीस जो घेतलेला आहे त्याचा टेम्परेचर हा कॉन्स्टंट आहे. पण आता जर तुम्ही असं म्हणला की ह्याच्यामध्ये टी का घेतला नाही, तर मी असं सांगेल तुम्हाला, इफ यू कन्सिडर दॅट T1 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड, तर त्या T1 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड साठी सिल्वरचा रेजिस्टन्स हा R1 असेल, आणि इफ यू कन्सिडर दॅट T2 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड, तर त्या T2 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड साठी सिल्वरचा रेजिस्टन्स हा R2 असेल. जर तुम्ही टेम्परेचर इन्क्रीज केला तर रेजिस्टन्स हा इन्क्रीज होणारच आहे. पण लक्षात येते, म्हणजे त्या ठिकाणी तुमचा हाच फॉर्म्युला फक्त तुम्हाला 1-2 च्या फॉर्म मध्ये लावावा लागेल. म्हणजे R1 is equal to rho L1 by A1, R2 is equal to rho L2 by A2. म्हणजे हा इफेक्ट आहे टेम्परेचरचा. कारण आपल्याला काय माहित आहे की प्रत्येक कंडक्टर, मोस्ट ऑफ द कंडक्टरच्या बाबतीमध्ये, if we increase the temperature, the resistance is also increases. But while calculating that formula, now for this generalized, this is the general formula, R is equal to rho L by A, we assume that the temperature is same. But if you take that the two different temperature, definitely this general formula we have to write it down for a different temperature. This is the point. Is that clear your doubt? Yes or no?
येस सर.
बघा तुमचा डाऊट क्लिअर झालाय का? होप दॅट my explanation will clear the doubt of you and through about you all. ज्यावेळेस हा आपण जनरल फॉर्म्युला डिराइव्ह केलेला आहे त्यावेळेस आपण एक फिक्स्ड टेम्परेचर कन्सिडर केलेलं आहे, त्याच्यामुळे तुम्हाला याच्यामध्ये टी दिसत नाहीये. पण आता जर तुम्ही असं म्हणत असाल, लेट मी टेक दॅट वन पेन हिअर. If I consider that this is a T1 and this is a T2, two different temperature is there. आता टेम्परेचर जर वेगवेगळं असेल तर मला सांगा रेजिस्टन्स सेम असेल का? Yes or no?
No.
नथिंग. म्हणजे या पर्टिक्युलर टेम्परेचर साठी मी असं म्हटलं की रेजिस्टन्स हा R1 आहे, आणि या पर्टिक्युलर टेम्परेचर साठी मी असं म्हणेल की रेजिस्टन्स काय आहे? R2 आहे. पण टेम्परेचर इन्क्रीज जर झालं तर रेजिस्टन्स इन्क्रीज होणार आहे. जर आपण असं कन्सिडर केलं की T2 इज लेस दॅन T1 इज लेस दॅन T2, तर मला सांगा रेजिस्टन्सच्या बाबतीमध्ये काय रिलेशन असेल?
R2 is greater than R1.
Absolutely correct. R2 is greater than R1 because as temperature increases, resistance is also increases. But the formula for this R1 is rho1. आता जर तुम्ही लेंथ आणि एरिया क्रॉस सेक्शन सेम ठेवला तर rho1 into L upon A, and the formula for this R2 is rho2, त्या पर्टिक्युलर टेम्परेचर साठी असलेला स्पेसिफिक रेजिस्टन्स. लेंथ जर सेम असेल तर लेंथ L अपॉन A. तो फॉर्म्युला हा जो काय फॉर्म्युला आहे तो इट्स अ जनरल फॉर्म्युला. वी जस्ट डिराइव फॉर वन पर्टिक्युलर टेम्परेचर. बट according to your doubt, if we want to consider the different temperature, then definitely we can write this general form in terms of the temperature here. Get it my point? Yes or no? आता मला वाटतंय हा पॉइंट अजून क्लिअर तुम्हाला ज्यावेळेस आपण थोडेसे न्यूमेरिकल सॉल्व करूया त्यावेळेस तुम्हाला हा पॉइंट क्लिअर होऊन जाईल. राईट नाव you just assume this general formula for resistance, which is equal to R is equal to rho L by A. This is the formula. And what is that rho? Rho is the specific resistance. आता इथं मी थोडंसं चुकून माझ्याकडून स्पेसिफिक कॉन्स्टंट झालेलं आहे बघा. द स्पेसिफिक रेजिस्टन्स म्हणा किंवा रेजिस्टिव्हिटी म्हणा. Get it my point? So today we stop here, and let me note it down that the few newly students added here. In the next lectures, we will try to discuss the few numericals based on this formula R is equal to rho L by A. So it's my request to all the students, you please attend that the next session onwards, along with the subject notebook and the calculator. The calculator is very essential to you to solve the numerical exam. Is it okay? Let me note it down that